Welcome, everybody. My name is Attila Uderski, and this is the second INN-PRESSME project online webinar. I would like to welcome all our participants, and I would also like to welcome the presenters. Today, we will have a 1.5 hour session. We will have 3 presentations, which will be followed with a question and answers session. We will wrap up the webinar about the time of 30 past 11. So today's agenda is going to look like this. We will have a first presentation from Ulla Forsström, the project coordinator from VTT. She will provide us a general presentation of the project with the description of the aim, of the objectives, and then some description about the pilots as well. This presentation will be followed by the open call, the aims, and most importantly, the lessons learned from the first call. This will be facilitated by Riccardo Capolla from STEM, who will give us an overview how the open calls work, what we should be aware of, and how this can be used by the applicants, most importantly with the focus on the lessons learned up to now. And the third presentation will be provided by Elena Hubete from CDTech about the results and examples of the open call, with the descriptions of the already positively evaluated projects. We are very much looking forward to these results, and also how a good innovation concept could be initiated as again, good examples. So again, as mentioned, we will wrap up with the help of STEM, and then we will have a question and answer session in the end. For the participants, I would like to inform that this meeting is recorded, so please be aware of that. Without further delay, I would like to give the floor to the coordinator of the project, Ulla Forsström.
Okay, welcome to this the second webinar on behalf of the whole consortium, and I will give you a little bit overview about the project itself and then about the pilot lines. So this is one of the open innovation testbed projects that focus on bio-based materials, nano-enabled bio-based materials that Commission has funded. And we have about 60 million euros, the whole budget in the project. We are running already the 3rd year, it has started, and now we have had first open call in the beginning of the year, and now we are looking forward to get the next applications in a second wave of the open calls. We have altogether 27 partners from 9 countries, from Spain to Finland, and we have 9 demo sites that we are validating the pilots. The main objective of the project is to help to develop and implement sustainable open innovation testbed that could support European companies to scale up the nano-enabled biomaterials and the processes that are needed for these products. And we target to work not in a lab scale, but from a lab semi-pilot scale, starting from lab results or semi-pilot scale results and going to a TRL level 7, so to have enough materials to make product performance testing. We focus on consumer products, energy and transportation, and packaging applications. From an open call in itself, because it's funded by the Commission, those countries that you can see in this map as greenish, bluish, or black are eligible. And Elena will talk more about the evaluation, so I don't go to details. A short presentation about the pilots and what we can provide you and support you. So we have 3 different kind of nanomaterials that we have big pilot facilities to provide you enough material if needed. So we have nano celluloses, both cellulose nano and microfibrils, and cellulose nanocrystals. And then we have carbon-based nanomaterials that can be used, for example, for battery and other active electrode materials. The novel bio-based materials that we can provide you from our pilots are flax and hemp microfibers that can be used, provided as a dry material and used, for example, in a furnaces where you mix it with the bioplastics. We can provide you also PLA dispersion that is produced in a pilot scale for dispersion coating. And then we have PHA, which is produced by fermentation of marine bacteria, and it's provided you as a dry material for processing in extrusion and other type of equipment.
Ulla, sorry to interrupt, but it seems that probably not every participant can see your presentations. Are you sharing your presentation right now?
Yes, I'm trying to share.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry for this technical glitch. Now we can see the presentation. I think everybody, you can go on.
Yes.
Thank you, Ulla.
So I'm sorry about the mistake, but anyhow, so we have the nanomaterial which are available in large amounts, as I presented. Then we have the novel bio-based materials that are available also in large amounts, either as a dry matters or as a dispersion for the processing in different pilots. And then we have several pilots which can be used for formulate novel nano and bio-based materials. So we can make printing inks, we can make coating dispersions, we can make granulates, filaments, lacquers, and foam beads. And these all these pilots are currently used to make test cases with the early adapters, and these test cases are focusing on packaging, energy and transport, and consumer goods. And I now give you some examples of what you could do and what we can provide. So we can make, for example, fiber-based pouches with a dispersion coated layer, multi-layers, and or we can make labels that are active labels on the packages by printing. And these products, when they are fiber-based and they don't have any plastics, but more that sort of bio-based plastics, they can be recycled in a fiber-based packaging loop, circulation loop. The other example about the services is that we can make recyclable bio-based products which are actually processed from thermoplastic materials. They can be surface treated or they can be extrusion coated, so that they use these bio-based beads, foamed beads, to make that sort of reusable packages. And here we can use different kind of bio-based plastics for making recyclable or biodegradable plastic products. Then we also have facilities for the energy applications, so that we can have nanomaterials, use nanomaterials, and here, for example, this carbon-based nanomaterials that are functionalized with a metal oxide can be used with other bio-based materials to make formulations that will be then coated coated to produce electrodes and electrolytes for supercapacitors or batteries. And here we have a roll-to-roll continuous coating line to make these for the further testing. And as then from other example for transport and consumer products, we have different kind of plastic objects that can be either printed with a 3D printing, or they can be manufactured with the foam extrusion to produce different kind of objects. And in these as well, you can use different kind of nanocellulose or thermoplastic polymers or hemp microfibers to make them stronger. And if needed, then these are mixed. They are mixed with a compounding line, or they can make made for as a filaments for the 3D printing. And functionalities can also be added to this these products by surface treating or mixing different kind of functional aids to the mixtures. So this was very briefly my presentation, and then I would like to give the screen to the next speaker.
Thank you, Ulla. Meanwhile, Ricardo is sharing his presentation. I would like to inform the participants that they will be able to ask questions. So once we have all the presentations concluded, then the question and answer panel will be opened, and you will be able to ask questions from the presentators.
Okay, thank you, Ulla. If you can stop sharing your screen so that I can share mine. Thank you. Okay, so you should see my presentation. Welcome all. Thank you for being here. I'm Riccardo Capolla from STAM. I'm the Work Package 7 leader. So this means that I'm the leader of the open calls, and I will explain you a little bit how they work, why we have organized them, and what do we want to do with them, and well, how did it go the first round of the open calls? Because what you're assisting is the second round of the open calls, and we would like to be even better than the first, even though we are pretty happy of how it went. So, as Ulla has already described, our project is very wide. It's difficult to be put forward. So what we decided is to create a way to help us in understanding how we will work in the future with our customers at the end of the project. As you can see, we go from materials to products, providing processing and recycling services. We will be able to produce several end products in the consumer goods, energy and transportation, packaging sectors, but who knows, in the future we probably address many different sectors. And so this gives an idea of how difficult this can be. Also because around this, there are several services that we can provide. And so we need a lot of different people to be involved in very complex activities. We can see here how clients will interact in the future with the OITB. We have created, as other OITBs, the single entry point from which the single client with nanomaterials or bio-based materials or products to be made with innovative materials can interact with the SAP. The SAP will provide all the services and all the know-how of the Open Innovation Testbed, helping the client in the interaction with the single service providers, the single pilot lines, helping the client in understanding how to interact with us. At the end, you can see all the OITB part as a black box in which the client will interact with the single parts, but will not be too bothered in all the difficult organization of several different pilot lines and services. But at the end of the process, after working with this black box, it will receive the final material, the final product, the final assessment, and the client can use this to provide higher TRL products or services to its clients. So how are we going to make it happen in the future, this project? How, after the end of the project, can we work with clients, with service providers, etc.? It's a great project, but how are we going to do this? So we decided to try our business model, our idea, promoting 2 rounds of open calls, which aims is to support companies, RTOs, universities, startups, etc. We want to help them in accessing our services, our assets. We want them to understand what we do, how we do it, and we want to validate the Open Innovation Testbed operational model. What we have thought on the paper, we want to make it happen in real life to understand if we are doing it right and how to make it better. And for this, we want to gather feedbacks from the end users. We want to gather feedbacks from the clients that will work with us during the open call, so that we can make it better. And we want to build a proactive ecosystem around the OITB, around our services, in order to keep stakeholders and end users close to us and continue to receive feedbacks and ideas from them. The final goal of the open call is to find and implementing new test cases. So we want to demonstrate that our technologies, our activities are useful for clients and understand how we can help them. So at the start of the open calls, our idea was to receive 12-15 innovation concepts, so projects to be subsidized to use INN-PRESSME's facilities and services. During the first round of the open call, we selected 6 innovation concepts. Later, I will describe the process. So right now, for this second round, we are looking for 6, maybe 10 innovation concepts, according also to the funding requested and other topics related to the funding available. However, how is this working? Elena will explain you better what the jury will evaluate, jury of experts will evaluate during the evaluation process of these innovation concepts. However, innovation, fitting with the OITB assets, the TRL and the feasibility of the project will be assessed and evaluated by the experts to determine which are the best innovation concepts to be involved in our project. What are these innovation concepts? These are projects described more or less as European funded project. So we want to know where is the innovation, where is the excellency, how you will implement the technology, etc. Implement the project, etc. To produce new materials, new bio-based materials, or new bio-based product. We are expecting innovation concepts with a request of 50, 100 kilo euros. We are not giving money as we are not funding the activities. We are subsidizing through providing high-level services. So we expect innovation concepts to ask for funding in which 70% of the funding will be covered by services provided by the consortium, and 30% provided from the applicant. The applicant can provide this 30% of the funding in kind, with a person month, with hours of work, with analysis made on the products, etc. So this can be discussed. This is the general idea. The client with the new PLA packaging, interested in new PLA packaging, can contact the SEP, the single entry point. The single entry point will discuss with the client, determine which are the best pilots and services to be provided by the consortium. So, for example, for new PLA packaging, we can imagine the collaboration between BTT, RISE, IPC, and Fraunhofer to create new cellulose fillers compounded with in multi-layer films, and then put a lacquer for optical properties on it, and then have a partner, in this case AIM+, to do recyclability studies, and then ANSYS and SD partner provide commercial solution versus the new product analysis and all the IP protection and funding advice necessary to obtain a new product and to scale up the materials studied during this process. At the end, we expect to provide new bio-based materials for the packaging sector with a strong analysis on their back, so that they can go up in the TRL at the end of the process. So how can you interact with us? How can you participate to the open calls? So we have created the INN-PRESSME platform, in which you can you should subscribe, and in which you can see all the information related to the project, to the open calls, and you can participate to the open calls. Here you can see is my colleague's screen. in the platform, in which going to the pilot, in the pilot menu, you will see all the description of our pilots in detail, so you can understand what we do, what is available for the open calls, what is available for our future clients, etc. In the open call page, you will see all the rules that also Elena is going to explain to you, but you will see all the rules and how to work with us in the platform and for the open calls section you will participate. So all the information will be here. And then in the last page, in the proposal page, you can upload your projects according to the templates that you will find in the documents section. So why did we decide to have a separate page for the proposals? Because nobody is going to see your project other than the consortium partners, so that we can protect your ideas and we can avoid to make them public, because this is a public platform. So we decided to have a protected part in which you can propose your ideas. Where are we? So this is the timeline of our work. We have selected the winners of the first round. As I was saying, we decided to go on with 6 innovation concepts. We received 7 innovation concepts well prepared and correctly submitted. However, one of it was not in line with our activities. So 6 of them are going through the process, and we are in the negotiation phase right now. For the new participants, on the 2nd of May, we will start with the second wave of the open calls, and then we can go on with the selection of winners and starting with the new projects. So 7 innovation concepts received 6 eligible innovation concepts. We are in the negotiation phase. What does this mean? That at least one of the innovation concepts proposed was not in line with our activities. How can we avoid this in the second round? We want to avoid this because it's work for the clients participating, and it's work for us. And we would like to receive a lot of innovation concepts to be scanned and to be analyzed, and we want all of them to participate to our process, and we want to help all of them to work with us. So what we would like to stress is that innovation concepts that have been created with the help of the pilot lines involved have better chance to go on in the process, even though obviously evaluation will be done by different people, not the pilot involved in the process, to avoid the conflict of interest, obviously. But if we can help you, if we help you in creating the innovation concepts, it's easier to participate to the open call. It's easier to create the right project, the right innovation concept, so that during the evaluation phase, it will be easier to implement it. It will be easier to become a winner, because we can help you in understanding how the pilot lines work and how to create the right innovation concept. So if you are considering to participate to the open calls, you can contact us. We will listen to you, listen to your idea, listen to what you want to do, and then organize meetings with the right pilot lines in order to create the best project according to our capabilities and our pilot lines. Then we can find the best pilot and help you in creating the proposal, and hoping it will be seen as innovative as and as good as requested by the external and internal evaluators. To do this, I put here my email so that you can contact directly me. I can help you in finding the right pilot lines, in organizing the meetings with the pilot lines, and find the best INN-PRESSME partner to help you in creating the best innovation concept possible. So on this, I finished on the open calls. I leave Elena for her presentation. We will see you. We will see later at the end of Elena's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. Hello, yes, I'm Elena Jubete from FIDETEC Surface Engineering. I will present you now some hints. First, I'm gonna make sure you see my screen, so just give me a sec. Okay. And you should be watching it now, I think. Okay. So my job today is to give you an overview of the selection criteria that we will be using when we receive your applications. But before that, also to drive you a bit to show you how the process is to apply for this second open call. Okay. So we will cover first some guidelines and about the steps that we need to follow or that you need to follow for this application. We will guide you through proposal submission steps. Also, we will speak to you about the evaluation process. We will give you some hints and tips about how to write a successful proposal, and we will give you some information about the open call one that we are just closing. So let's start. What about the first steps to be given in order to apply for our second round calls? So first, you need to download the guide for applicants when you are registered in our system, in our website. And in this guide, in this document, in this guide, you will receive all the information you need in order to get to work. Okay, so this is the first important step to be done. So have a look about these pilot lines that Ula already presented you earlier in detail. And yes, once you are registered and download this application, you can start to work filling all the sections. We will go through the sections now to explain you. The process will be open next week and will be closing on the 15th of June. Here is the website. So how are the proposals needed to be structured? So as in all the proposals in H 2020 and Horizon Europe, there are 3 sections. But of course, in this case, the proposals will be much shorter. It will be just 5 pages, but covering the main parts of these 3 important sections. Okay, first the excellence, to see how your ideas are innovative and see the viability of them, how they go beyond the state of the art and how we can make them happen through our INN-PRESSME project. The impact section will, in this section, you will need to be covering the outcomes that this collaboration with the INN-PRESSME project will have. I will explain you more in details what we expect you to cover in every of these sections, but just as a rough overview. And then in the implementation, you will need to describe the work that will be done through these pilots. So as I said before, everything in just 5 pages. So it needs to be very synthetic. Okay, and of course, we welcome photos, schemes, and figures within this extent also to be able to describe better the concepts. No need to say that the application will be needed to be written in English. And as for the The format, it will be in Times New Roman and in a size 11, okay? So about the excellence, what do we need to cover, or what do you need to cover in this excellence section? Well, you need to target these 4 different bullet points. First, reference to the ambition, provide the description of the problem that you want to solve or you want to target, and how it goes beyond the state of the art. Then speak about the innovation, also the challenges particularly, and how INN-PRESSME services will be able to help you in going through some challenges. Make reference also to your contributions in regulations, standardization, and certification issues as part of this project, and demonstrate to us that the approach you are following is sound, okay, and credible, because this is important as, in the methodology section. What about the impact in this section? That we recommend you to occupy around 2 pages for this. You will need to be dealing with the explanation of the market, how this is an opportunity, what is the market potential your product will have, and describe the competitive advantage of what you are proposing. Then you would need to be describing also the commercial strategy and the scaling up potential of the products that you are targeting within this proposal. You also need to describe the return of investments and the global economic value creation that you will be generating through this project. And you also need to mention also the background you have and how the intellectual property rights will be dealt with. Other expected impacts are also welcomed and needed to be described within this section too. And lastly, but not less importantly, the implementation. In this section, you need to tell us very well how you are planning to do this work. You need to provide explanation of the time schedule and also the task, deliverables, and so on. And demonstrate that your team is the best to do this work, that your management skills and your experience is indeed valuable for this, to perform this work, and that you will be able to use our pilot lines to give value to these developments. What about the TRL level? Well, you need to be targeting TRL 4.5 as initial to TRL 6.7 as final. So please explain this in your proposal as well. And do not forget to talk about the risk. What are the risks that you oversee for these developments, and how are you planning to solve or to make them front? Okay, so how will evaluators be scoring this application? So scores will be given from 0 to 5, with half points allowed as well. And to pass this threshold, you need at least 3. And in total, for the full application, a need of 10. If you are not passing these scores, you will not be allowed to go forward, let's say. So there will be a pool of a minimum of 4 evaluators. This is described later. Yeah, here. 4 experts, mainly external expert, but there will be also 1 internal evaluator. And after, there is also a feasibility check by our pilot line owners. So this is why also Ricardo was mentioning earlier that it is important that you are in touch with us if you have doubts when you read the pilot line descriptions, or when you are not very sure how to deal with the work within a pilot, or if this is feasible. If you have any doubts, contact us, and Ricardo will put you through the right person within that pilot to solve these doubts. This way you will facilitate that you are in line with what we can offer you, and also that later, when the feasibility check is done, you can pass it easier, because you are already knowing what is expected to be targeted. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the timelines, although Ricardo already mentioned earlier, but just in case some new people had incorporated or you didn't make notes. As said before, on the 2nd of May, this is next week, you will be able to start to work on the application. Don't leave it to the last minute because the 15th of June is the closing date, but make sure that you leave right time in case you have doubts or in case you want to contact us. Things take time, so do not leave it for the last moment. Make sure you are in. Please expect that in this second round, we might have more applications. We are pretty sure that since there is more information available and more dissemination actions taken into account, probably this will be more competitive even than the first round. So if you want to be in, because we don't want to make you lose your time, I mean, we want you to prepare a nice proposal and to work with us. So plan it ahead with time, and let's make sure you are able to work with INN-PRESSME proposal, with INN-PRESSME team, okay? So by the 15th of September, you will know if you are, if you are selected. And by the beginning of 2024, beginning of next year, you will be already starting your project if you are lucky. So make the best of it. And yes, I think this is more or less what I wanted to tell you. Of course, during this period from September to beginning of January, no need to say that is the time also where negotiations will be taking, and also where the contract agreement will need to be signed with us, with the INN-PRESSME consortium team. Okay, so well, let me just give you some last tips. I forgot that we have just these last slides to help you a bit more in advising you how to go through. So as said before, the guide of applicants is the first instrument, and the description of the pilot lines in the web and in the system is already good enough, we think, to give you the hints you need. But if in doubt, just ask, okay? So do not forget to mention very well the background you have and how it's well interlinked with our pilots and our capabilities in INN-PRESSME project. Make sure that you also describe well the research methods and that you give a realistic approach of what you can do with us, okay? Be clear showing the market potential of the product that you plan to develop with us, and outline also properly the commercial strategy. Define the work plan with the task appropriately, the deliverables, also the risk management, blah, 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 everything that we explained you before in every section. And yeah, be concise in answering. Think with an evaluator hat on to see, what they will be looking at and how you are answering it. Don't leave it to their imagination. You need to write it down, okay? And have a double check of your proposal with some other colleagues, somebody that has not been involved in the writing process, because maybe something that you are taking for granted is not written and it needs to be clearly shown. So have a double check. Involve specialized people in every section. Don't put everything on you to write the proposal. Make it a collaborative approach with feedback from different approaches. For example, for the impact section, make sure you cover appropriately commercial strategy, the outcomes, and so on. And if needed, once again, contact us. Okay, we will be happy to help. What about the Open Calls 1 winners? When we, as already said before, 6 proposals are already under negotiations, and we are already in telcos or in calls with them during the next week to finish off the process. And yeah, we already cover different topics such as food packaging materials, materials for biomedical applications, biomaterials coming from waste, and bio-based coatings also for the protection of wood. These are the winning ideas that has gone through and that will hopefully be finishing in work with us, with the INN-PRESSME team. But there are other calls, other pilots also that we have available and that have not participated directly in this Open Call 1. So in case of same score, we will give priority to test these pilots. So these are the ones described here. Okay, you will have also this presentation available later in our system. So as you see, you have a pilot 1 for cellulose nanofibril production, pilot 3 for the production of biopolymers, pilot 5 from novel cellulose bioinks and slurries, pilot 6 scaling up of graphenes and carbon-based bio-nanomaterials, pilot 12 for the production of electrodes for energy storage devices, and pilot 13 structural and printed electronics facilities. This does not exclude the other pilots that we have available. For sure, all of them can be applied to. Okay, so I think on my side, this is all by today. We are now available, the four of us, to your questions. So thanks again for your attention, and we are happy to try to solve your doubts. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Elena. I think it was very exciting to see more or less the results from the first call, and thank you also for the tips. Probably the participants who are interested in these calls could use those tips in the next round of calls as well. So now we have just started our Q&A session, but probably Ricardo, if you would like to wrap up the proceedings up to now, then maybe the participants can start typing their questions into the Q&A panel. You can find the Q&A panel in the below list of icons near to the participants and the pause icons. So Ricardo, if you could wrap up the presentations in a few words. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So what I wanted to tell you is that now if you want to participate to the open calls, if you see it as a valuable asset for your company and for your development activities, you should register to the INN-PRESSME platform. I have already shown the site, but you can go to our site, the INN-PRESSME site, and you will find there the platform. In the platform, you will find all the information you require to participate, from the guidelines to the documents to fill to participate, etc. I invite you to contact us, as Elena has already said, and as I already said, you should contact us to help in working on your proposal, on your innovation concept, and we will help you not only in finding the right pilots, but also in managing the agenda, to talk to them, to meet them online, and work with them on the idea in order to have an innovation concept that is close to our assets and that can be applied to us according to what we can offer and what you want to obtain at the end of the process. So we are here to help you. I have already shared our email, but we can share it again via email if you contact us through the website or through the platform. You have a lot of ways to contact us. We are here to help you, and we want to help you because we want a lot of innovation concepts close to our assets. And this is all.
Yes, thank you, Ricardo. Again, as you mentioned, if the participants or the applicants are interested in the open call, I would also like to recommend them to visit our website, where they can register on the digital platform. There are many guides and templates already there. So again, I would like to just suggest to read those through, and if the conditions are met and all the project idea is in line, as it was mentioned by Ricardo, in the expectations of INN-PRESSME, then we would really recommend to submit proposals. Okay, so now we can start, I think, our Q&A session. There is already one question, which I'm going to be very easily answer. Will it be possible to get the slides? Yes, certainly. I think in a few days after this webinar, the presentations will be uploaded to the project website, so you will be able to download and check again all the important details. Let's see if there is any further question.
Either they are very shy or we have been very clear.
Well, it seems that everybody was very clear on the presentations, because I don't really see any more questions. Let me see the chat box. There is also no further question. Okay, in this case, if you do not have any more questions, maybe our panelists would like to say a few words as a closure, or is there any further or final notes from their side that they would like to share with the participants? Because then in this case, we can actually more or less close the webinar for today.
On my side, just to thank everybody for their attention and to say that we are looking forward to receiving all your interesting ideas as applications. Thanks.
Okay. Ulla, would you like to say a few final words?
You are muted, Ulla.
Yes, I would like to share once again this eligibility slide that I said that look at all the colors that the countries are, so that because this is funded by the European Commission, so the use of our pilot lines, so EU countries, member states, UK, and then these associated countries in black are eligible. And therefore, because we are in a way funded by European Commission, we also play according to the Horizon rules, and therefore also the consortium agreement will then be drafted and agreed with the applicants based on these European Commission rules.
Yes, I think then the main takeaway is that the platform is ready. It is waiting for your good ideas and the well thought out proposals. And we are looking forward to working with the applicants in the close future. As I understand, there is no more question. Then I would like to thank you for the participations, for the panelists and also the attendees. I would also like to say that once this webinar is closed, then you will receive a link that will bring you to a survey. This survey will be very easy to complete, and it would really help our work to get some feedback from the participants on the quality of the presentation, how the sound was, how the whole flow of the presentations were going on. So if you can complete that survey, we would really appreciate your input on that. And I think with this, I would like to say goodbye. And once again, thank you for participation.